By now, you guys probably know, I absolutely love early 90s sneakers from any brand. It doesn't matter if it's Reebok, Nike, Adidas, Puma, BK, Avia, any of these brands. I absolutely love this period. Back in the day, I was in high school and I spent a lot of time going around the sneaker stores, looking at the models, picking them up, holding them in my hands. I did not have the money to buy them, but I record that memory into my brain so vividly. And now 30 years later, I can still remember which store had what model and which one I touched. So today we're gonna look at one of those models. Hey guys, welcome back to the Kicks Business channel. We're looking at the Nike Air Structure in this particular colorway, which some people call the Persian Violet. But to me, they were always known as the other original colorway. Why am I calling it the other? Because this one is the colorway we all recognized as the original colorway or release colorway. Well, in fact, is the colorway that I saw for the first time in stores, and I absolutely love this one. And this one is gonna have its own separate video. I just pull it out for a comparison right here. I'm gonna show you some things about this model. So this particular colorway of the Air Structure, I really liked, and I was waiting for it for such a long time to come available. Recently, I went to one of the Nike factory stores. These ones were sitting for under $60. They had tons of sizing, and I, of course, picked up a pair for myself so I can wear it. And opening in the box, I was immediately disappointed, but regardless, I still wanted a pair, so I grabbed one to just be able to wear it this summer around and enjoy it. Unfortunately, Nike made some terrible decisions releasing this pair in some of the worst possible places, and you guys gonna see them on close-ups. Those of you that know your Nike models, especially those from back in the day, you know that there was no synthetic leather anywhere in this shoe on the upper. It was just synthetic mesh and synthetic materials that are mimicking suede. And this is exactly what they did on this release. This one released first last year and this one released afterwards. But this is what they call OG Air Structure. And if you see how pliable everything is, this is synthetic mesh and synthetic kind of a suede, which is more like a felt. All around this shoe had the same thing on the swoosh, on the overlays, and everywhere else. This shoe is supposed to look like this. And I'm extremely pleased with the OG, quote unquote again, release colorway, because it looks just like the original one with the materials used. But unfortunately, with the Persian Violet, they chose to go to this route of all-around overlays made with synthetic, super cheap, super hard synthetic leather that I absolutely don't appreciate. And I'm not sure how much money they saved, or actually probably cost them more to put this synthetic leather than put the mesh. Some project manager at Nike thought it was going to be cute and put this quote-unquote leather on it, which absolutely destroyed the shoe. But you're gonna see them in the close-ups, and they look super stiff. They feel very stiff, and they even put synthetic leather on the tongue, which again did not have it. It was super plush, thick, and soft on the OG one, on that OG Retro as well, but not on this one. It's stiff. So these are produced in June of last year. They released towards the end of the summer, kind of beginning of the fall time. And of course, seeing them online and pictures and stuff like that, I recognized immediately what was going on here with the materials. So I decided to wait a little bit, and I'm glad that I waited, because at the Nike factory store under $60, I had to grab one just because of the colorway. When it comes to the colors, it's pretty similar to the original. Obviously, there's differences, and those of you, the purists, will recognize them. Personally, I'm not gonna gripe about it. I think it's very close to the original colorway, and the combination of this violet with kind of a hot pink or red and the white and the black, I think this shoe looks amazing, and it looked amazing back in the day. Again, very simple outsole, 1 or 2 colors mixed. That's was the kind of the trademark of Nike at the time. They were doing very simple outsoles, I mentioned in the previous video. But what really attracted me about this shoe, and I mentioned it many times before, I like and I love shoes that have dual density midsoles and they have a little bit more support on the medial side, because my foot tends to shift towards the medial side when I run, when I walk. And having a little bit more support here is great. And this is exactly what they were saying back in the day, and this is what they did. On the lateral side, the air unit is bigger, you will see it, and on the medial side is barely visible. It's one of the tiniest air units at the time, because they chose to have more support over here. More of the polyurethane midsole was allowed to stay on the medial side. That gave the shoe a lot more structure, rigidity. That's why it's called Air Structure, obviously, because it was tailored towards these people, runners. At the time, this was a performance runner that wanted some more support on that side. Another thing that it's kind of a signature for this model, there is no plastic cup on the heel or plastic cup that it's inside the shoe or between the inner liner and the upper of the shoe, but rather they have these exaggerated, very hard rubber or more of a soft plastic wings on both sides, on the left and the right, and that provided a little bit more support as well. Regardless of the materials chosen here, I have to tell you that the colorway is awesome. I absolutely love it. The insole, unfortunately, is nothing to write home about. Is again the run-of-the-mill insole, which is glued in. You have to use some force to pull it out. There's no arch support inserts here. Back in the day, they were provided with this shoe, and we only have a swoosh right on top of it. Now, you'll see that I've brought another favorite of mine from the same era. This is the Air Tailwind, and this model came I think a year later, and back in 1992. This specific retro is from 2008, so this is 15 years. Oh my god, 15 years ago I bought this one, and I've been wearing these a ton. And I'm kind of waiting for them to start crumbling soon, because I see the air units are already starting to fog out. You know how this is the Nike curse, you know, after a certain period of time, no matter what you do, if you see an exposed air units, they're gonna start fogging out. But this shoe kind of reminds me of this one. Of course, it's probably the same designer at the time with the exaggerated support on the heel. And these materials used here were exactly like on this one, which is this mesh and the felt that made the shoe very free-flowing in the front and very pliable and very comfortable to wear. Again, look at the outsole, very simplistic, just Nike Air, and that's about it. Not much frills, but I've been wearing this shoe a ton, despite the fact it looks very fresh. This is one of the best things, having tons of pairs that you can rotate around, and still pairs that are 15 years old can look as fresh as this one. But yeah, this one is gonna go on my feet as well. That era of the sneaker industry is really my favorite, just because I spent so much time in these stores looking at the shoes and trying them on, but I could never afford them. So I kept a mental note, one day when they become available and I have more money, that I can buy them and enjoy them. But yeah, if you're looking for this structure, probably check your local Nike factory store or Nike outlet. They're gonna be under $60, but don't spend more than this, because the materials are not good. Just for the nostalgia factor and for the color combination, you can grab yourself a pair. Go through the size, by the way. These Nike always fits me through the size. I rarely have any issues with sizing with Nike. But yeah, I think as a color, they're great. As a comfort, they feel like a retro shoe, basically. Despite the fact that you have Air Max unit in the back, you're not gonna get a ton of response, at least until you break it in. The polyurethane midsole is sort of dense, but you know what? I don't mind that. Honestly, I like a little bit more support these days as older I'm getting. And the rest of it is fine. Just keep in mind, don't spend the full retail price just because they ruined it. Now, full retail price I paid for these ones, and these are gonna have a separate video just because how much I love this shoe and how great it looks, and the materials here used are very, very similar to the original pair. So yeah, long story short, Air Structure, I love this colorway, but the materials are not good. That's pretty much it, guys. Hit the thumbs up if you like the video, stay tuned to the channel, subscribe if you're new, check out some of the other videos coming up very, very soon from any kind of brand, and as always, guys, you have a wonderful day.